Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to be back again with a brand new video. It's been a couple days and I honestly miss you guys. So if you are a new subscriber, kindly go ahead and subscribe to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back. And just before we get into the topic for today, I know you see that already. I would just like to appreciate everyone who came all the way from Facebook to YouTube right here, and to all those who have followed me on Instagram. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. And if you haven't done that already, go follow me on Instagram, win_women_fellowship, and also on Facebook at win women. Okay, and also follow my business page, Win Luxury International, on Instagram, as well as on Facebook, Win Beauty and Spa. Mwah. Thank you already in advance. So as you can see from the title, today we're going to be discussing the dangers of discussing your relationship issues with third parties. Yes, that is the topic for today. It's really sensitive. It's really something that's close to my heart, because I recently have a friend who shared her experience, and I have been there. I know people who have been there, so many women, of course, because I mean, it is normal for every relationship, for every marriage to go through its trying time and all of that. It is part of the process that strengthens the relationship, that strengthens the bond between couples. We cannot deny that fact. Okay, but then, especially as women, we find that we want to talk to somebody when we're hurt, when we're in pain. We want to rant, we just want to vent, we just want to tell it all. You know, that's our way of purging ourselves of the hurt, of, you know, releasing the anger that we might feel, or releasing, you know, the emotions, the built up emotions that we might feel. That might be our way of, you know, easing the tension in our heart. Okay, and just a quick disclaimer, I'm not saying today that is absolutely wrong for you to discuss whatever you're going through with someone that you trust, or your confidant, or whoever. But trust me, over time I have found that this could do more harm than good, especially when you're not talking to the right people. And it is really almost impossible to know who the right person is, to know who the right ear is. So it is best that most times you just keep the situation to yourself and ask for God's guidance and wisdom in that situation. Okay, because trust me, storms will come, but God will always give you the strength, the wisdom, the grace to overcome it. If only you can just stay by Him and ask Him for direction. Okay, so most times it is not worth it running to a third party to begin discussing your issues, because at the end of the day, it may not end well. Okay, and so for today I have written them down just so I say it in order. I'm going to be listing 5 dangers of discussing your relationship issues with third parties. Okay, and who is a third party? I mean, it could be your friend, it could be your family member, it could be a distant person, somebody you just met. Because some people don't like to discuss their issues with people who are close to them. They prefer branching out, you know, going far, so, you know, the person doesn't look at them some type of way. So it could be a distant friend or cousin, a family member, a co-worker, whoever that is not your spouse. That is a third party. Okay, so let's get into the video. And also, I know that there are some women who have discussed their issues with, you know, third parties, and it ended up working for them, and today they are happy in their relationship, in their marriages. But there are also women who have discussed their issues with third parties, and it put them in really awkward situations. Okay, and today's video is to tell those who have not yet been in those situations to be really careful, because it is really easy to find yourself in awkward situations. Okay, so as I said, the dangers of discussing your relationship issues with third parties. We're going to get right into it. So the very first one that I have noted down is unnecessary comments and indirect insults. One of the very first dangers of discussing your relationship issues with third parties is unnecessary comments and indirect insults. And what do I mean by this? When you go ahead to, you know, go discuss your relationship issue with somebody, either over the phone, at their house, wherever you choose to meet, however you choose to do it, but when you're venting to somebody about your issue, and most times we don't even need anybody, the person to say something. We just want someone who's going to listen, right? And then they come up with unnecessary comments and indirect insults like, oh, if you had been wiser, you would have done it this way, or if you were smarter, you would have done it this way, or if you were not so dumb, you would have done it this way, or, you know, comments like that. Those are indirect insults. I understand that in the situation, you who's hurt might not see those as insults, but that person is putting themselves in a position to judge you, to begin to, degrade you or downgrade you or see themselves as better than you simply because you came to them with a problem. Okay, so that is just an avenue to receive indirect insults from the person that you're relating the issue to. Okay, so that's actually enough reason to put yourself in the house, cry out to God, or type out your frustration on your notepad. It doesn't get exhausted. Type it out, make a voice note, just cry and say everything you want to say. The phone is listening to you, the recorder is listening to you. Okay, you don't necessarily have to run off to somebody to start, downloading every nitty-gritty of everything that happened between you and your spouse. This could be in a relationship, in courtship, or even in a marriage, especially in a marriage. Okay, so that's the very first one. And number 2 is assumed mentorship, guys. This is so important. Okay, because when you go to someone to seek their opinion or to seek their advice, or as a shoulder to lean on when you're having issues in your relationship or with your spouse, they feel that they are now in a position to mentor your marriage or mentor you in your relationship, however you want to put it. They now feel that after that particular situation, they're in the position to tell you what to do moving forward. They're in the position to tell you how to run things because you gave them the leeway by going to them to cry in the first place that this was what's going on in your relationship. You gave them the leeway to begin to lord over you. So they assume that they have become your role model in marriage. They have become your role model in relationship. They have become your role model in courtship. They assume, when in your heart you simply went to them that one time when things were down, and even when things are now rosy between you and your partner, they want to come over and be like, oh no, you got to do it this way, or you got to do it. They now want to put in their opinion at every single time. They have practically assumed, that they're now your mentor. And that's absolutely wrong. Because of course, if you wanted them to be your mentor, you go and ask. Okay, so that's one of the things that's really offensive. Okay, and number 3, dangers of telling third parties about your relationship issues. The third one would be crossing boundaries and not knowing when to shut up. Yes, a lot of people, especially if you're going to tell your relationship issues to someone who is not sensible, or the person may be older but really maybe not sensible, I'm sorry to use that word. Okay, they begin to overstep boundaries and they don't know when to stop. Every single time they see you, they want to talk about your relationship issue because they feel like they now have some kind of in on your relationship issue. They now feel like, every single moment they see you, even when you and your partner are in great terms, they have to bring up whatever shortcoming that you had in the previous argument and the previous quarrel whatsoever. Okay, so that's like a no-no. That's a situation you do not want to find yourself in. That is why you need to suck it up, type it in your notepad, say it to your voice recorder, whatever you need to do. Just try to avoid going to somebody who is going to, at the end of the day, insult you, mock you, begin to feel like they're better than you, or even begin to judge you simply because you need, a listening ear. Okay, and worst of all, you don't want anybody to start overstepping into your relationship or into your marriage. And maybe if the person is older than you, you might not want to say, please, it's okay. They just don't know. They're not sensible enough to know that it's time to stop. And every single time you meet with that person, they just annoy you. And as time goes on, you might have to cut ties with that person because the conversation is no longer interesting because they're overstepping boundaries. Okay, so the fourth danger would be they begin to assume master of your relationship. Meanwhile, theirs is in absolute shambles. Theirs is even probably worse than your situation. But because you ran to them 1 time or 2 times or 3 times, they now assume that they are the master of your relationship, of your marriage. Meanwhile, theirs is a total mess. But some women are great at keeping things secret, okay? And that's what I want you to also master. So you don't put yourself in a situation where you get insulted by another woman or by another man, if you're a man in this situation, going to someone to, seek advice or whatever. Okay, so it is really important that you master this, not to pretend, but to keep to yourself, because they now begin to make you feel like they have the perfect relationship. They have mastered their lives. They have mastered their marriage. And so they are now in the position to lord over you in your matrimonial home or in your relationship. Okay, and this could even be your in-laws. So you have to be really careful. Okay, you have to know when, an opinion is coming from a genuine place of love, without insults, without throwing indirect words at you, without trying to, forcefully mentor you, without overstepping boundaries, and of course, without trying to prove that they are the master of that field that you are complaining about. Because there's absolutely no relationship, no marriage that doesn't go through trials. I was telling one of my friends that marriage is the moment you get married, it is an invitation, it's an invitation to battle. Yes, because of course marriage was made so that godly offsprings can be raised, which is further going to depopulate hell. But the devil is never happy with that. So that's why you constantly have troubles. That's why you constantly have to fight your way through it. And there is no relationship, there is no marriage that is exempted. There is no relationship that is special. No matter what you see up front, everybody goes through it. Okay, but then when you go tell the third party about your issue, they begin to want to act like they're the master. Oh no, this is what made this is, oh no. And if you even talk to their spouses behind, they're saying something terrible, worse about them than you think you're going through. Okay, so don't let anybody do that to you. As a woman, as a man, be in control of your relationship. Don't let nobody step into your relationship, into your marriage, and begin to lord over you, or begin to make you feel like less of yourself because you fell short one time and you went to them for advice or for a listening ear. It's not worth it, okay? And then the fifth one, the last one that I listed down, is the further announcement of your personal issues. They begin to even tell their family members, their co-workers, their kids. They begin to table talk your situation. And even sometimes it even gets worse. Probably you're in the middle. You just find yourself to be in the middle of that scenario. And they begin discussing your issue, and everyone on the table knows your situation. Everyone on the table is beginning to chip in opinions on your marriage, chip in opinions on your relationship. Girl, you do not want that. That is absolutely disrespectful. And it's fine. We may not be able to control those people because, as I said, they may be older than you, but not sensible enough to know not to cross boundaries. Okay? But you can be sensible enough to suck it up and stop running to the third party. Okay, and lastly today, because this just came to me right now, the sixth one is when you go to a third party to relate your relationship issues, you are actually giving that third party a leeway to know that there is, some kind of instability in your relationship, and you give them the opportunity to further come in between you and your spouse. The communication will now probably be between your spouse and that person to you, or you and that person to your spouse. And you do not want that. You want to be able to communicate and liaise with your spouse on a personal level. Okay, and if it's somebody who has eyes on your wife or somebody who has eyes on your man, you have just given them the opportunity to know that, oh, their relationship is actually shaky right now, so this might be the perfect time for me to shoot my shot. And then they come between you and your spouse. Okay, so this is a topic that is really, really dear to my heart. And of course, these are not all of the dangers, but there are more. Okay, so if you're a woman, if you're a man, and you're aware of, other instances or other dangers, go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below so that other people can learn. And as you do so, God will richly bless you, because the whole essence of this platform is to impact lives, is to impact women, is to impact men. Okay, and I really, really hope that this message touches the deepest part of your heart and it changes something about you. I am not saying that I haven't been in such situations. As a matter of fact, I have been there, and that's why I'm able to share this, okay? And a lot of people that I know as well have been there in awkward situations simply because, they run to someone for a listening ear or as a shoulder to lean on, and they begin to get indirect insults. They begin, to get someone babying them like they're babies in their relationships. Come on. And if you're one of those people who, people run to tell their relationship issues, and you do any of these things, I would like you to receive some wisdom today, some wisdom from God, and stop babying people in their own relationships. Stop throwing indirect insults. Stop assuming mentorship over people's relationship and marriages because they came to you one time or two times as a shoulder to lean on or as a listening ear. If you cannot help the situation, simply genuinely open your arms for a hug, or offer some coffee, or offer a blanket, or whatever it is. You don't have to overstep boundaries. You don't have to begin to, spread the rumor to your, spread the situation to your co-worker, to your family member. That is uncalled for. And that is not what God wants. Okay, so ladies, I know it is absolutely not easy. Sometimes our emotions get the better part of us, but then we have to learn, pray, and trust God, to put our emotions in control while we also practice it ourselves daily. Okay, so the next time you feel like you want to talk to somebody, go ahead, open your notepad, type it if you can type. Turn on your voice recorder, say everything you want to say, insult your spouse, say whatever you want to say, insult him, go at him like you're talking to him on your voice recorder, cry and yell whatever you want to do in your room behind closed doors. And when you're done crying, taking off your wig, ripping off your clothes, go in the bathroom, take a shower. As a matter of fact, trust me, when you're taking that shower, you're just gonna laugh at yourself at the few minutes of display you just had in your room. Okay? It's better than going to someone who's gonna mock at you, who's gonna judge you, who's gonna further spread your relationship issue, or someone who's even gonna steal your spouse from you. I hope this message has delivered some wisdom to you, and I really, really hope that it brings, a positive impact in your relationship, in your marriages, in Jesus' mighty name. Alright guys, so if you did enjoy this video, kindly leave a thumbs up down below, and as I said, leave your opinions and your comments down below as well. And as you do so, God bless you. Until next time, stay blessed.